Hi, my name is Shyla Richter, and I'm making these videos as evidence for the copyright infringement, plagiarism, and personal harassment that I have experienced from Taylor Swift since 2010. I have been focusing on the year 2020 to show the capitulation of the abuse and how blatant it has become. It's been blatant since 2010, but this is the evidence that I am providing to begin with. This has been going on, like I said, from 2010, since I started writing John Mayer online, and her jealousy arose at me having his attention, and so I became the target of her aggression. So over the years, I have continued to do my own writing books, and I wrote a scroll. I call it a tapestry because of the Homeric epics. But I was writing articles online on my literary journal, Books of the Southwest, that was begun in 1957 in Los Angeles. And so I was continuing that history and tradition by writing about the music and literature, poetry, the beat poetry, New York City, San Francisco, all of that was burgeoning at the time. I also write about fortuitous things or uncanny things, what people would call serendipitous, but I call it the wonder that I have lived. So I have kept this writing going. So I'm just going to draw attention here to two of the articles that I wrote, Welcome to Wonderland. And the reason that I'm pinpointing these is because Taylor started picking up the history that I was writing, like Joni Mitchell, the 1960s, Pattie Boyd, and record shops and records, and she was constantly picking up things from my writing and then presenting it to the public as a persona. And so this article that I wrote, Welcome to Wonderland, is about finding the miracle in the magic, the meant to be of this path of music and literature and poetry, and how it's culminating in our time. And then there's another article called The Path to Cultural Enlightenment, Writing Literature and the Music Finds the Miracle in Its Magic. I think I just said that. I'm mixing up two articles. But I'm writing about the history of this and the lineage of this to John Mayer being in Dead & Company. And so this culmination of music, Joni's Blue, just now hitting the #1 mark after 50 years, and its culmination coming to a realization here. So over the years, like I said, there's been she's been referencing my work with no one knowing that. I was writing about Eric Clapton, and of course John Mayer has a long-standing relationship since early in his career with Eric Clapton, and as early as probably 2011, I was writing about Pattie Boyd, and then Taylor appeared in Leben Glamour magazine dressed up like Pattie Boyd. She interviewed, but this was a book that I was writing about at the time. And of course she replicated this cover with Jake Gyllenhaal, who is another person like Harry Styles, who was deflecting some of the aggression and hatred that the public was buying wholesale. And this photo replicated was something that I had been writing and talking about on a trip to New York City in 2010. And so when John came out with Queen of California with a reference to Joni Mitchell, I had been to see John in Vancouver, where she had written Blue, and so she started dressing up like Joni Mitchell and replicating quotes from her and not telling the public exactly where those words came from, but she was just absolutely lifting quotes from Joni and acting like it was her own words. The same thing with using Carole King. Carole King, of course, had the magnificent album of Tapestry, many magnificent albums, but the lifeline of her music, and still so vibrant. And Taylor Swift has been using her because I write a lot about the Homeric epics and that lineage into the Renaissance and into Leonardo da Vinci, and the subversion of art, of the controlling forces of culture. And so because of her Tapestry album and her she's been making appearances with Carole King. So I write a lot about Audrey Hepburn. I have written a book about her, but I have not published it because of the plagiarism aggression. And I work from a place of stillness, and so I think that its time will show itself. It was just a miraculous insight into Audrey Hepburn's spirit and the spirit of her work, and how these fortuitous events just led together into a body of work that really speaks. So in 2020, I was writing, and I was writing privately. I was not publishing it online, but somehow my photos on uploading to the website were hacked, and so Taylor then started replicating things about Audrey Hepburn. She's been replicating that from me from 2010, but you see her then try to replicate Audrey's dance from Funny Face, and it doesn't have the spirit of recognizing Audrey. Audrey came from being totally broken open as a child with the Nazi invasion and the hunger, and having to be fed by the Red Cross, and having a lifelong compassion for other people. And so Taylor does not meet any of that. And so it was trying to grab that identity for herself, which is something that she does on everything. She tries to make everything about herself. Everything is me, me. And that's not what I write. And so she takes my work and makes it into something very ugly, about a personhood that it can't be about. This cannot be about one person. This is about the needs of culture. This is about bigger things. So of course, all of this is also where she got the topic of folklore, Bob Dylan and Joni Mitchell, and all of this that I've been writing about. Not only did I teach folklore and write about folklore and mythology, all of it she tried to claim that identity, and it's all a lie. It's all a lie to the Recording Academy. It's all a lie, and it has been all along. I know that Taylor was tracking John as early as 2008, and of course I didn't know it at the time. And then when I came into the picture, I was an immediate target. And so this has been something that he has definitely been a target of this entire time. And so it feels good to finally speak about it and to say that what the public has believed. I know a lot of people haven't believed it, but there was a huge outpouring of sympathy for her making herself the victim, like with Scooter Braun, and it's all completely untrue. She, those copyrights, it was all plagiarized material, and she made her millions off of that, and so it's completely unethical. It's all based on lies, and it's all based on trying to play the victim, where she is most certainly not the victim. Most certainly not. So this is the basis of what I'm going to show you of why she was trying to capitalize on identifying with record shops. And so that's something that happened in 2020, making a big donation to the record shops. And Rolling Stone called her a guardian angel. And at the moment, Kim Kardashian was pointing out, no, this person lied to the public. And Rolling Stone still said, oh, she's the guardian angel of record shops in Tennessee. And so it's very hard to break through that unawareness, because it's almost like, well, we've collectively decided that this is good and she's brilliant and a genius and a writer and all of these things. And they could not have known what was behind the scenes. I understand that. They couldn't have known that my material was being lifted rampantly. John's material is plagiarized throughout her work. And many other artists, Beyonce and a whole list of them. This is not just about me, but I'm the one who can speak about it, because I don't really have anything to lose. I don't have to try to play to public opinion. I can just speak the truth.